to hiding somewhere by a gated star. Baby, they ain't never gonna find me. I'm a renegade. I could be the one who saved you from this play. We could be as one and we'll escape. We could run away, we don't gotta stay. I can feel it, it burns inside. Take away the pain, we can go insane. I can feel it, it burns inside me. Burns inside me. Burns inside me. Burns inside me. I won't let you down. We could have the world to ourselves, going to a place that's far, staring at the stars for hours, 'cause you're a renegade. I could be the one who saved you from this place. We could be as one and we'll escape. We could run away, we don't gotta stay. I can feel it, it burns inside. Take away the pain, we can go insane. I can feel it, it burns inside. We could run away, we don't gotta stay. I can feel it, it burns inside. Take away the pain, we can go insane. Trust me, I won't let you down. I won't let you down. Yeah, I won't let you down. 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 I won't let you down.
Hey, happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to this brand new episode of Working with the Ombre. I thought I'd kind of want to bring you guys in and show you what an average day for me kind of looks like doing work. So I figured while I was working here in the Ombre cave today, I would involve you guys because some of you have been asking, like, what does the Ombre do all day? And I'm like, well, I work. And then they're like, it's like this.
Yeah, you don't work. You just make like lots of money off of fermenting still by jacking up your prices and ripping people off.
It's like, no, that's not the case. I do not do that. I make my money off of my subscribers and my members and people watching the YouTube videos. But I work and I do projects like this, and I do them with the distilleries. I don't charge them for doing this stuff. I do them to help them out, and then also to help create some amazing products for us to get exclusive barrel offerings as well as batches of like the Carrera 54. This is what I did with the Carrera 54. I helped them in developing a flavor profile for it because we didn't want the regular stuff. We wanted something special, and they wanted to create something special for me. So this is kind of what we do here. So today, what I'm going to be working on here while you guys are all hanging out with me, and of course you can ask questions and stuff. Just let's not talk about other brands and stuff, because we can talk about what I'm doing. And at the end, if you guys have questions about other brands and stuff, we can talk about that. Scott, I'm so sorry that you're in Idaho, where the state selects and sells the spirits. State liquor stores ruin your Friday. I'm so sorry for that, but there's always the option of purchasing online, and I believe Ferment and Still ships to Idaho. So I think you have an avenue for getting some really great tequila. So check out fermentandstill.com and try to place an order. If the order goes through, then they ship to Idaho, so you can actually have stuff delivered to you there. So it shouldn't be a problem. So I just made your day. You're welcome. What can I say except you're welcome? Okie dokie. So what we got today, we're working on, and I need to get this over to Casa San Matias ASAP, is I did a barrel selection for hold on a second. That's not true. Try to place an order. Watch what happens. So, these are a couple barrels that I selected with San Matias Grand Reserva, and it is the two barrels that I selected. They were done at 40%, but now I wanted to do it at 45 at 90 proof. So they sent me the 90 proof samples to try and to decide whether that's the route we want to go or not. So these, I have number 1 and number 2 on these, and so you can go ahead and so I can go ahead and taste these and then let them know whether we want to go forward with them. And if you watch the review, that the video that I did where I was selecting the barrels when I was in Mexico, they're two completely different ones. One was more robust and complex and had more of like a dessert tequila kind of flavor profile to it, and the other one was more like lighter but still very flavorful, but more suitable for like an afternoon sipper or an aperitif. So we're gonna see how it's like at 90. So let's jump into this, and these barrels are going to be exclusive for the Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective. There's a link in the description if you guys want to join. It's $10 a month. Everybody that joins so far, people love it. It's a great community. We share a lot of information stuff on there. People do discussions and stuff, and everyone's really nice and it's really good. And then you get exclusives for the Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective stuff. You get first option to buy it, and it's exclusive for a while until it doesn't sell out. If it doesn't sell out, then we make it available to the public. But if it sells out, then it's exclusive for the Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective. We did that with the Yayo Repo. It just stayed exclusive, and everybody bought it up, so it sold out. And so we're going to do 2 barrels of the Grand Reserva. The price on this is going to be somewhere probably around $60 for an extra añejo, which I think is going to be a really good price point on it. I think might even be less. But we wanted to do a 90 proof of 45% versus a 40. Now, you do also, as a member of the collective, you do get some allocated stuff that I give first option to, but there's like no guarantees on it, because we do get like a small amount. Like today we did the Fortaleza Winter Blend, and the Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective members got it for $100 less than what they put the last 4 bottles up on the website for. So they got a good deal on the Fortaleza Winter Blend, the 2023, and it went most of it went to the Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective members, and then they just put four bottles up to the public at a higher price, because that's what people are paying for it now. So, but those are some of the benefits you get from being in the collective. So we'll start with barrel 1. Now, I have not had any tequila yet today because it's noon, and if I did, God forbid, I mean, my wife would probably kill me if I'm drinking before noon. Yikes! Maybe on a Sunday during football or something, I may be drinking before noon. But what is this? No one. What is this? I've had to drive across my state line to receive my online order sent to a carrier store. Well, that's horrible. I know there's certain states they don't ship to, and that's like Massachusetts, Mississippi, Utah, but they do ship to Idaho, and we have quite a few customers in Idaho that receive orders, so it's not a problem. Try to place an order and you'll see And there's actually, I know people that are reps for tequila brands that live in Idaho. So it's all right. So looking at this in the glass, just like a usual review here. Look at that. It looks wonderful. So this is barrel 1. I'm not sure what the exact number is. They just put 1 on the bottle. So 1, look at that. It looks really great. Look at the legs and tears on that thing. More legs than a ZZ Top concert or even a ZZ Top video. Look at that. That looks beautiful. And looking at the tequila itself, it is crystal clear. Nice amber brown color to it. That looks good. So let's see what we get on the nose on this. If you're a French oak kind of person, this will excite you. Oh my God, this smells so good. I love this at 90 proof. Oh wow, yes, this excites me. I'm having a tingle in my nether regions. Shh, we don't say that publicly on live streams. This smells, oh my God, this smells so good. You guys are just going to have to watch me nose this thing for an hour. All right, so I'm getting cooked agave. There's cooked agave still. There's cinnamon and baking spices. But I'm getting this beautiful caramel, vanilla, and butterscotch notes that are coming through. Hint of cherry. Definitely oak, wood coming through, like French oak, and the sweeter oak wood is there. Honey, okay, it's got a honey-esque kind of note to it. Ripe fruit. There's a lot going on in this. Wow. No, this it smells so good. Wow. Okay. All right, I gotta get my mouth acclimated to 45% alcohol. So hold on a second. Okay, now that my mouth's acclimated, here we go. This is gonna be so good. Oh my God, this is so good. It starts out with that beautiful cooked agave. Little hint of oak bitterness in there, which is perfectly fine. And then you get vanilla, butterscotch, cherry, ripe dried fruit like apricot. And that butterscotch just coats your tongue. It's just beautiful. And then really nice caramel and vanilla notes that are still hanging around. This sweet cinnamon note on the tongue as well. And it has this really nice oak wood bitterness that kind of balances things out. I wouldn't say it's anise. It doesn't kind of hit the black licorice note, but it's just more of like a wood note that you can definitely pick up on it. This is stellar. I think people are going to like this. And I'm going to give this some time to open up, because I think when this opens up, it's going to get even better. That's the one thing I like about French oak, is that a lot of times if you just let it sit in the glass for a little bit, it'll open up. And it just gets better and better and better. So this one's really good. You guys that are members, you're going to love this. It is really good. This is going to be a favorite. This is going to sell out quick. I know my group. I know them pretty well. I'm going to put some more in this glass. Was this 1 or 2 that I opened? I think it was 1. Okay. That was 1. So I'm going to put a little bit more into one. That's one over there. And then 2 isn't open yet, so I need to open 2. There we go. Come on. There we go. Okay. So here's 2. Wow, that's really good. I still have the residual like butterscotch and vanilla notes in my mouth on that. And a little hint of like oak woodiness to it. All right. Let me rinse my palate. Okay. That was really... I'm going to enjoy drinking the rest of this bottle. All right. So bottle number 2. I have a feeling that bottle number 2 is the one that's going to be the more the aperitif one. And less of the rich notes and stuff that the other one had. I think this one's going to be more of like an afternoon sipper type one versus like a dessert and stogie type of one. So we'll see. So on the nose on this one, yeah, it's a little more subdued. There's definitely cooked agave notes coming up on the front, so you get that cinnamon and baking spices. Definitely a honey-esque kind of note coming through. Vanilla and caramel. Wood. Oak, like French oak. Not as much butterscotch as the other one, but there's a little hint of butterscotch on it. It smells delightful. It smells really good. All right, so let's see what we get on the palate on this one. Oh yeah, lots of nice cooked agave up front. Kind of a light sweet fruit, like a pear note coming through. Vanilla, caramel, butterscotch. Very light though, not as heavy as the first one, not as rich as the first one. Very easy to sip. This one's very easy, very light, this is a great afternoon sipper. This is something if you're watching like football with some friends, you can sip this one and not worry about kind of tiring out your palate. And enjoy it with a really nice stogie as well. This one's really good too. It's just a lot lighter flavor wise. It's not as rich and robust. So you could actually serve this one like while watching football or enjoying it in the afternoon on a weekend or something. And then after dinner, when you want a nice after dinner drink, go towards the number 2 and have something more dessert-esque, kind of for an extra añejo, and enjoy a good stogie with it. Both of them are excellent. This is going to be, everyone's going to love these. This is going to be great. I mean, I'm excited about getting these in for everybody because I think I know my group pretty good, and they're going to be great. So yeah, I can't wait for the release on this one either. The Grand Reserve is great in general. So how do they compare to the regular Grand Reserva? They're a lot more flavor than the regular Grand Reserva is 40%. These are 90, or 90 proof, so 45%. So it has a lot more flavor to it. And since they're single barrel and not blended, you're going to get a lot better flavor profile from picking a good barrel. So one of these is going to be a lot lighter, and one of them's more robust, but they're more richer and defined in the flavor profile versus being blended with a bunch of other barrels. So I would rate it better than the regular 40 proof, and I've got the 40 proof, and I drink that occasionally too. But this one is going to be definitely ones to get over the 40%, the 80 proof. Sorry, I said 40 proof. I meant 40%. these are going to be a lot better. People are going to love these. So I'm going to let these open up a little bit while we take a look at what I have to do next after this. Because today, unfortunately, I have to drink a little more than I normally do, because I have some projects that I'm working on. So the next thing we're going to do, while I let these open up a little bit, at least start looking at it, is these are bottles of the San Matias Taona right out of the still. So these are still strength. They want me to help them with developing a still strength Blanco. And like I did with Carrera, they actually tried the Carrera, the CCO tried the Carrera 54 and loved it. He's like, oh my God, that is so good. And so he wants me to work with them on developing something, you know, along the same lines of that for the Taona line. So that's what I'm going to do. And of course, I don't charge them for it. I do it for free. And then what they'll do is normally give us a little bit of an exclusive on some of it for the group, you know, to initiate it. So they'll create a batch just for us before they release it to everybody else. And that's kind of their way of just saying thanks to me for helping them with the work. But I'm going to need, I thought I had another glass. Maybe I'll just use the San Matias glass. I do have a San Matias glass that they gave me, which is pretty cool. But my Denver and Lively glasses all have the, you can see the San Matias logo on it. Casa San Matias. Or maybe I should just wait and let these open up for a little bit, and then we'll revisit those. So let me see. Do I have another? I don't have another glass here. Well, I don't have a Denver and Lively glass, but I'll use this one, I guess. All right, so let's take a look at this. This is the San Matias Taona Blanco. I'm going to rinse my palate off real quick. Do some water, and I'm going to do some Coke Zero to rinse my palate too. Get a different flavor in there to kind of wipe things out. All right, so this is the San Matias Taona Blanco. If I need to grab a Denver and Lively glass, I will. We'll try it in this glass first, because both my Denver and Lively glasses have the Grand Reserve in it. So I need to make some notes on this and let them know what what I think and what we should do on it. And I'll let you guys in. I'll tell you guys what I would do to improve it if it's not perfect the first time, which a lot of times it isn't. But here, I'll move the mic a little closer here so you guys can hear me. Just put it on top of my notebook. There we go. Okay. So this one, let's take a look at this in the glass. Let's see how, I think it's going to be pretty viscous, because the Taona Blanco in itself is normally pretty viscous. So looking at it in the glass, look, this is still strength. So this is 110 right out of the, but look at that. The legs and tears look great on that. Coats the glass beautiful. So it's kind of a nice viscous mouthfeel to it. Look at that. Looking at the Blanco itself, it is crystal clear, nothing floating in it, dashes of silver light reflections dashing through it. Really good. Oh, you guys, I'm trying to set up a meetup. If you guys want to come hang out with me and drink tequila. So I'm working on that. So stay posted for that. Stay tuned for that too. So I found a really good taco place today that just opened up near me. I'm going to talk to them about it. We all have tacos and drink tequila and hang out and try different tequilas and stuff. I think that'd be fun. So looking at it, it looks really good. So I'm going to be slipping all kinds of tidbits of information here, so people that skip through it will miss it, and then only the special people that sit and watch will get the information. I'm sneaky like that. Don't tell anybody. All right, on the nose. Wow. Okay. Really nice cooked agave notes coming through. This has got an interesting, more of a musty kind of note to it, which is different. It's good though. but definitely has that rich cooked agave, but it's more on the vegetal side. It's like fresh cut grass, even like bell pepper and jalapeno on the nose. Still get a little cinnamon and baking spices in there. This is really a lot more towards the grassy side at the full proof. Definitely more mineral to it too. It's definitely this is really interesting on the nose. I've always been a big fan of the Tequila Blanco. It was one of the first Blancos to turn me on to drinking Blanco. So it's been raining here, so the allergy is still a little hardcore. This has got an interesting nose to it. I like it. But it's more definitely not your typical sweet in your face, sweet cinnamon and fruity agave notes to it. Instead, it's more definitely heavy on the vegetal side, like grass and bell pepper and jalapeno, mineral. At least that's what I'm getting from this glass. I don't know if I should even just grab another Denver and Wiley glass from downstairs and clean it and bring it up. I may do that. But let's see what we get on the flavor on this too. All right, let's see what we get on the flavor profile. I definitely get cinnamon and baking spices from it. It's definitely more on the vegetal side, almost like jalapeno notes that come through on it. It's a little bit of heat to it, but it's not that bad. Not nearly as bad as the Volans was. A little hint of anise in it as well. Definitely has nice cooked agave notes. I mean, it's solid. It's a solid still strength, but I think we can do better with it. I do. It's definitely more on the grassy side and it has a nice mineral notes to it. A little bit of heat. I'd like to see more cooked agave notes coming through on this, and I think we can do that. So I'm going to send them a note. I'm going to say this is really grassy, which nothing wrong with grassy vegetal. Jalapeno. Flavor doesn't pop quite as much as I'd like it to. I can work on that. All right, so I'm gonna I want to try that out of the Denver and Lightly glass. So hold on a second, guys. What I'm going to let me go grab another Denver and Lightly glass and try this still strength Blanco again and see what the difference is that I'm getting from using this glass versus the Denver and Lightly. So hold on a second. Let me grab it. I'll be right back. When you work with me, sometimes I have to leave the room. So be patient. I'll be right back.
Down, huh? Sorry, buddy. We're going. We'll go downstairs.
All right, I'm back. All right, so let's try this again in a Denver and Lightly and see if I get some different notes from it than from that San Matias glass. It's not completely undrinkable by any means, but it's not excellent. I think we can do better with it. All right, so in the Denver and Lightly glass, yeah, it still coats the glass beautifully. I love the oiliness of it. Hey David, I tasted the Grand Reserva two barrels that we picked before. We're letting them sit and opening up a little bit. The first impressions so far have been very good. And these are going to be really impressed with them, but I'm going to let them open up a little bit. So I have them both still sitting here in glasses, opening up a little bit, and then we're going to check them back. But right now we're doing a still strength Blanco for Taona, San Matias Taona. They asked me to work with them on this, so they gave me some from a batch they just did and wanted to get my feedback on it. So I'm doing that right now. So the first tasting I did was actually in a Casa San Matias tulip glass like this. And it was good, but it wasn't great. I think there's some ways we can make it better. It's more on the vegetal side. There's a lot more grassy notes and like jalapeno and bell pepper and stuff coming through on it. And I moved it to a Denver and Lightly glass now because I want to see how it is represented in a Denver and Lightly glass versus that other one. I had to run downstairs and grab a clean glass because I only had two up here for this. So let's see if it comes different on the Denver and Lightly glass. So this is a still strength San Matias to Ona Blanco that they gave me, asked me to help them with it. So that's what some brands do. They send me stuff and say, hey, can you help us with it? And I don't charge them for it, but if it comes out really good, then we'll buy it for Ferment and Still, for the collective. All right, so on the nose on this one, I'm getting more of the sweet cinnamon and baking spices than I did from the thinner glass. So it's definitely there. It was weird. The thinner glass gave me more vegetal notes to it. Where now that it's in a wider bowl glass, I'm getting more of the nice cinnamon and baking spices notes coming from it. Yeah, it smells good. It smells better coming out of the Denver Lively glass than it did out of the other glass. All right, so let's see what we get. Yes. That is so weird. That is so weird. Wow. That is really weird. It tastes completely different now coming out of the Denver and Lively glass than it did coming out of the San Matias glass. The thinner glass, which is kind of interesting, the thinner glass but not a bowl, using the tulip type of glass, this gave me more vegetal notes and more minerality to it. And when I put it in the Denver and Lively glass, this is the same stuff with the bowl. I got a lot more of the sweet cinnamon and baking spices coming from the agave from this one. And it's representing itself a little better, not as vegetal and mineral as it was in this glass, which is like totally weird and kind of cool. So there is a difference. There is a difference in the glasses that you use. So a lot of people are like, when I try something and give you a thing, and then you guys are sipping out of something like a Glencairn, which I got a bunch of these G4 glasses. So if you guys want some G4 glasses, maybe I'll do something where I'll give away some of these tequila G4 Glencairns. But it'll actually deliver a different experience to you than the Denver and Lively. That's one of the reasons why I moved to the Denver and Lively glass, because I think you get a better representation of what the spirit's like. So this is definitely different in the Denver and Lively glass. Really nice cooked agave notes coming through the cinnamon and baking spices. It does have a little bit of vegetal, like jalapeno-esque kind of note that comes after it. A little bit of grass, but there's more of that sweet cinnamon and baking spices coming through, and a little hint of almost like a citrus pith, like orange peel pith coming through. This is nice. I think we can do better on it. And I'm gonna let them know that I have an idea on what we can do. This is good. I think people will like it. I don't think it's gonna have people saying that it's like amazing, but I think we can get it to that level. So I'm gonna make some notes. And people are, maybe if you're wondering too, what would I recommend? I think this was fermented at too high of a temperature, so I'd recommend going colder on the fermentation. Because when they ferment at ambient temperature and it's hot out there in Mexico, it delivers a different... and so I think by doing it at colder, we're going to get more of the cooked agave and fruit notes coming through, and less of the vegetal and stuff that may come through. But it's also going to be a little more viscous, a little more thicker, because the yeast slows down and it actually doesn't ferment as fast when it's a little cooler, and it won't create any off notes as much as it does when it's warmer. You get a lot of your off notes, your off flavor notes and stuff from fermenting it in the warmer temperature spectrum of the yeast. So I have an idea of something that we can do. So I'm going to let him know that it's good. It's good, but we can make it better. Boom. I just had tacos for lunch, so those are really good. But it's a good Blanco. I just think, you know, if I was to rate it, if I was to rate it like on a 0 to 100 scale, I would probably give it a low 80s score. But I think we could push it up to a 90s if we changed some stuff in the processes. So I know their processes very well, and I know what we can do to fix it. They have their own distillery for the Ona line. It's fermented in wood vats outside. So I have an idea of some this stuff we can do to cool things down and get a better better fermentation out of it. But it's going to be fun. So yeah, it's a lot better in the Denver Lively glass. That's for sure. All right, so let's clean the palates. Let's go back and check out the two Grand Reservas. Any questions so far on any of the stuff that I'm doing? So far, it's been pretty quiet. You guys are like eyes staring at the screen, wondering what I'm doing. Yep, the G4 glasses. Oh, we'll see. I mean, I got a bunch of them, so I need to pull them out of the storage. I'll think of some way to give them out. What kind of tacos did I have? Oh, good question. Let me see. Let me see if I can show them to you. Hold on a second. I'll show you the tacos. I took a picture of them. Here, let's just do this. I had one carne asada taco. I had one birria, no, not birria, sorry. I had one chorizo taco, one pollo taco, and one, what was the other one? Pastor taco. So I had 4 tacos. Let's see, I'll show you guys what they were like, since we're talking tacos here. I love good tacos. What can I say except for tacos are wonderful things to eat. Hey, it's okay to like the tacos when you're looking for something good to eat. The tacos. What kind of taco does everyone like? I like tacos. All right, so let's see. What do we got here? Where is it? Where are you, little sneaky picture? Let me see. Hold on. 11/17. Is that today? Today's the 17th. It is. This is the one right here. What can I say except I love tacos? All right, you ready? Here's the tacos. I'll show you the tacos. Let's bring that in here. Photos. Let's browse for photos. Let's go. Google Drive. My Drive. Desktop. Okay, there we go. And we want photos. Okay, select folder. Where's the taco? What was it? I said photos. Let's see if we can find something different here. Oh, image. Here we go. Come on, software. Let me put a photo up. I don't want a bunch of photos. Image. Here it is. Okay, this is what we want. So we're going to desktop. And what's the number on that one? That one is oh, let's see. Where is it? Desktop. Okay, let's cancel that. Let's rename this tacos so we can find it easier. There we go. Okay, so let's look for tacos now. We'll browse for tacos. Desktop. Where's the tacos? I just put them on here. Really? Ah, here they are, right here. Right here. Open. Okay, did it make it? Let's see. Did I get an image? It says tacos on it? Yes! Okay, you guys ready? These are the tacos I had for lunch. Look at that. Yes! So there's a carne asada, a pastor, pollo, and chorizo tacos. Look at that. Look at that presentation. Looks great, right? So those are the tacos I had for lunch. They were good. So this tequila's sitting really nicely with those tacos so far. So, but that high proof, the still strength Blanco, I think it needs work. We can make it better. It's like the $6 million man, right? We can rebuild him. Work with me and we can make it better, stronger, faster, better high proof Blanco for you. Yeah, I know, right? They looked really good. Yeah. So I'm thinking if we do the meetup, we may do them at this place so we can enjoy those tacos together. Yeah, they look really good. What's elbow cough? I don't know what elbow cough is. Elbow cough, elbow cough, elbow cough. Is coughing into your elbow? You sick? You sick, C-Spills? You feeling okay, buddy? All right, let's see. I got a number 3 medium toast French oak stave for the Still Strength Blanc today, per your recommendation. I want to make an añejo with it. What would you ballpark for a wait time? I would go 6 weeks, personally, but, you know, taste it along the way, and when it gets to a point where you're okay with it, then let it go. So what is this? To understand clearly, you are shooting for a sweeter, more present cooked agave profile? Rather than grassy and vegetable. Well, I want to get more. I like more of the cinnamon and baking spices profile from cooked agave, where it's not just all vegetal. I don't mind a little vegetalness blended in. But for me, it's like if I was to bite into a piece of cooked agave coming out of the oven, I love the sweet cinnamon and molasses kind of baking spices notes that you get from it when you bite into it. It never tastes grassy coming out of the oven when you taste the piece of cooked agave. It's always really sweet cinnamon, baking spices, molasses kind of flavor notes, and then, you know, there's maybe a little grassiness in the background, but it doesn't show up. So I want to make it more like you're biting into a piece of cooked agave. So the agave's there's more there versus any fermentation notes. And what I think is happening is it's fermenting too much too fast, and the yeast is eating too much and putting off some off flavors to give it that kind of bitter vegetal note that comes through on it, like a jalapeno. You know how it has jalapenos? They have that vegetal like note to it, but it's also a little on the tart bitter side. That's what I'm kind of looking to kind of eliminate and make more, so it's more rich cooked agave and really kind of lets the agave sing on it. Because they're located in Los Altos, so they're doing the sweeter cooked agave up there. They're not doing the Valle stuff, so there's something in their process. I think it's fermenting too warm. Would be my guess. So I would. I'm going to recommend that we try to do something to kind of chill it a little bit and bring it down so the yeast works on the stuff that it's supposed to, but also is in a comfortable zone for itself. Because one of the things that people don't understand is, like, let's say it's 80 degrees outside and I'm fermenting at 80 degrees, the ambient temperature, but my yeast like works best at 72 to 73 degrees. When you push it to 80, not only is it sitting at 80 because the ambient temperature outside, but when it ferments, yeast will actually create heat itself. So if you can find a way to cool it down, you can keep it within that prime zone, and it will do its fermentation like at its most optimum temperature, and so then it won't create any off flavors or anything else that would give more fermentation notes. Instead, it'll be a cleaner fermentation where it'll eat all the sugars that are available to it, and then it goes to sleep and it drops out. And so the key is to have it go to sleep and drop out without pushing it too hard, stressing it too much by having the temperature go up too high, and causing off flavors to be created within the fermentation. But see, a lot of times when you look at the tanks in Mexico, they're open tanks, they're open vats that they use the ambient temperature, and that's fine for producing an okay spirit. But when you want to push things and really kind of create something that's better and that has a better flavor profile, it's better if you can do temperature control on it. So like the Carrera, one of the things that we did when we worked on the Carrera 54 is that was done when it was really cold up in Arandas. It was really cold. And in January, February and stuff, those months, it barely gets above 50 degrees. It's chilly. They even get snow up there in the wintertime. So by doing it at a lower temperature, we created a really different flavor profile than what they had before, where it was done at warmer temperatures. And it really produced a really rich agave flavor profile from it. And that's one of the things that I really love about the Carrera 54. And it was all because of the fermentation temperature. They tried doing some other batches because of how popular it's becoming now. But because the temperatures are so warm up there, they weren't getting the same flavor profile or the same kind of quality as they were when it was done, when it was chilly outside up in Arandas. So now that we're heading into the winter season in Arandas, I think they're going to try to do another batch sometime in January, February, March, when the temperatures are chill in Arandas. Like I was there January before last, I think it was actually. And it barely got above 50 degrees. You had to wear a jacket all the time. It was chilly. And one of the things too that I found when I was doing that too is that Sergio Cruz, when I talked to him, we were talking about fermentation. Fermentation is something I've studied, and I did a lot of work with fermentation when I was doing beer brewing. But one of the things he said is, I said to him, well, based on the characteristics that your yeast produce and the particulars on your yeast, what is your optimum temperature that you look for where you get the best results? And he said at 10 degrees Celsius, which is 50 degrees. Let me look it up. I think it's 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Let me see, 10 Celsius to Fahrenheit. It's 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So if it stays at 50 degrees or below on his fermentation, he gets the best results and creates the best flavor profiles. And so that's one of the things that I'm going to talk to them about. And maybe we can come up with a contraption that we can keep the fermentation temperature within a good range of the yeast. Now I need to find out what kind of yeast they're using. Because some master distillers, they use different yeast depending on what kind of flavors they want. And some of the stuff they use, I mean, I had one master distiller tell me they use bread yeast for doing their fermentation. I'm like, bread yeast? Why would you use bread yeast? Do something. Pick a yeast that's going to be more appreciative of getting fructose in it. Not bread yeast is a grain yeast. It's used to doing sucrose and doing more sucrose oriented type of sugars, where if you use one that's more inclined to use fructose, like a wine yeast, you'll get better results from it. And it's even like for Sergio Cruz at Vivanco and Associates, they use champagne yeast a lot. And champagne yeast is great because it's meant for fructose. It does more fruit oriented stuff like wines, but also it can go higher ABV. So if there's a lot more residual sugars, a lot more sugars in the fermentation tank, when it goes in, it can keep going longer than a lot of other yeasts because it's not affected too much by the alcohol content of the mosto. It can go higher, where other yeasts, like when I did beers, if I was doing, let's say I was doing a higher ABV beer, like a Scottish wee heavy ale, I went with a yeast that was more not affected as much by higher ABV environment that it's in. There's a lot of times once the ABV of the environment that the yeast is in hits a certain point, it'll go to sleep. It'll die. It's just like, I'm done, and it falls off. And what happens is the yeast cells go to sleep and they drop to the bottom. During fermentation, the yeast are swimming all around. You can actually see them. If you can look into the vat, you can actually see them swimming and moving around and doing their deal. They're eating all the sugars in there, and they're turning them into carbon dioxide and alcohol. And they also create heat, so they'll actually warm up the fermentation. So one of the things that I did when I was brewing beer and was an award-winning beer brewer is I kept my fermentations under temperature control. I used a big temperature or big plastic tote, and then I filled it up. It was a 50-gallon plastic tote. I filled it up with water, and I would put my glass carboys in there, and then I hooked a aquarium chiller up to it, and I'd set the temperature, like for a lot of the beer yeast, 70 degrees, 72 up to 75 degrees, like between 70 and 75 is optimum temperature for a lot of the beer yeast. And so I would set it for in the middle of the range, like 72, and keep the temperature at 72 all the time. And when I started doing that and paying more attention to the temperature on the fermentation, I started winning more awards for better, cleaner tasting beers. And the same happens with tequila. And I think, a lot of people ask me now, hey, Ombre, where do you see the tequila industry going? And what I would like to see happening is I would like to see, instead of people being acceptable to a lot of the tequilas that are out now with the heavy fermentation notes that are involved in it, and I would like to see people, more of these master distillers and stuff, going for a cleaner fermentation, going for a better fermentation, and then delivering a better tequila from that really super highlights the agave. You can taste a lot of these high proof blancos, like for example that Volans, right? It had a nice agave note to it. It had some grassiness and stuff to it. But when you try the Carrera, it really just tastes like eating cooked agave out of the oven. It's more the cooked agave is present because it didn't get super digested by the yeast when they're pushing it at a higher temperature in an environment that it's really not beneficial for the yeast. And that's one of the things I really love about the 54 is that it really highlights the cooked agave. And there's a lot of people, some people that say they didn't like it that much, and it's because a lot of people now aren't really in tune with what real cooked agave notes taste like. And until you've been to a distillery and they've served you pieces of cooked agave out of the oven, you really don't know what you're missing on some of these ones. And so that's one of the reasons why I recommend people picking up the Carrera 54, is because it really does sing cooked agave from the oven. It's more than any other high proof Blanco that I have, and that's one of the reasons why I love it so much and why it's the best to me, because it really represents cooked agave, which is what a Blanco should be. A Blanco shouldn't be fermentation notes. It should be about agave, because these freaking agave spend 8 to 10 years in the soil creating all these different flavor profiles. You should want as much of that as possible in your Blanco. And what's missing is a lot of these guys are doing these fermentations at 80 degrees when the yeast works best between 70 to 72 or 70, no hotter than 75 degrees. And so one of the things that I'm kind of experimenting with, and maybe you guys want to join with me on this, is when we look at batches, when we look at what Blancos that are coming out, let's look at the dates they were produced on them. Let's find out when they were fermented, what season. And I bet you, if you look at the batches that come out January, February, March time zone, maybe even November, December, when it's kind of chilly up there as well, like in Arandas and stuff, or even tequila, it's not that warm at those times of year. But you look at those times of year, look at the batches come out, and I bet you dollars to donuts, whatever, dollars to whatever, that if you compared a batch from February, January to a batch from June and July and August, when it's warm out there in Arandas or in Guadalajara or in tequila, depending on where it was made, you're going to see a big difference in the quality, and you're going to actually think that the ones that were done when it was colder out in the fall, winter, and spring season are going to be better than the ones that produced in the summer and in the early fall, when it's warmer out. So as a little experiment, let's check that out. Let's look at some of these things. Take note when you pick a bottle and you try it and you go, yeah, I don't like the taste of it or whatever. Look at the date on it and see when it was produced. And if you can, reach out to the producer and find out when they made it. I mean, because if it comes out as an añejo or extra añejo, a lot of that stuff's going to be covered up anyways because of the barrel presence. But as far as Blancos go, it should be bottled pretty quickly after it was made. So they don't typically let them sit around a lot unless it's Fuente Seca. Fuente Seca will let them sit for a while in a glass carboy or glass tank before they bottle it. But most of the time when it's made, it's bottled shortly then after when you're looking at Blancos. But compare the difference between ones that were done in the spring and winter and fall months when it's colder to the ones that are done when it's later in the season and it's warmer out. Now, a lot of people talk a lot about the Calle 23 Criollo and how good that is. Well, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know is that Sophie Deckelbeck is a microbiologist. She studies yeast and fermentation. She knows yeast and fermentation very well. And I have a feeling that when she did the Criollo, she went and paid extra attention to the fermentation temperature and what yeast she used to ferment that and how suitable it was for the environment in which it was expected to work in. And that's the reason why people talk about how great Criollo was. And it's because Sophie knows fermentation. She knows yeast. She's a microbiologist. She knows a lot more about yeast than a lot of the other producers out there. And one of the things a lot of people don't know too is she actually worked for La Alteña when she first went to Mexico. She worked for Carlos Camarena on La Alteña. And one of the tequilas that she did, and if you can still find it from La Alteña, here, hold on. So this brand, Excelia, was her baby, and when she was working for La Altania. This is really good, a really good brand. I like the Blanco, the Repoñeo. It's aged in wine barrels, and it's so good. But you got to make sure it comes out of I'm drawing a blank on the name right now. It's the same one that does Mark Wahlberg's tequila. It's Orendine, Tequila Orendine. It comes out of Orendine now, but this was done originally out of La Altania. So you want to, when you look for, if you find a bottle of these, you want to look and make sure that let me see if I can find the nom on it. Yeah, here it is. I can't even read this right now. It's so small. Let me see. I think it's 1139. Yeah, 1139. So when you want to look for nom 1139, and that's La Altania on the Excelia. So the key to really producing a good tequila is the fermentation. It really makes a huge difference. And I think where a lot of places fail is they just throw any yeast in and do it ferment at any temperature without really focusing on what yeast they're using and what temperature it works best at. And that was the reason why I won so many awards that I did, because I was one of the few people in the home brewing community back then that really focused on paying attention to temperature, especially here in Southern California, where it gets warm out, right? It gets really warm. It's here in Riverside, it's 100 degrees plus in the summertime. And so if you're doing a beer, you want to make sure that stays down in the lower to mid 70s to get the best possible fermentation you can. So I would recommend with them that we do this like sometime now, soon in the wintertime. And I've got some ideas of things we can do to kind of keep this fermentation chill. So it produces better results, a better flavor profile than what we're currently getting. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys? I don't think you'll find any other tequila guy that's talking about stuff like this for you. I'm it. I'm the one. Most of them just go, oh, it's smooth. It's good. Or there's other guys too that are half drunk when they do the reviews. It's like, all right, could you not finish off half the bottle before you do your review and be tanked when you do it? I mean, because it's really not leaving a good impression on me. All right, so let's go back and visit. This is bottle 1 again for the Gran Reserva. It had some time to sit and open up. Yeah, look at that. It just looks so good. The legs and tears on that. Still amber color. Let's see, now that I had a chance to open up a little bit, let's see what the flavor, the nose on this is like. Oh, God. Yeah, it's I wish I could have a better way of telling you guys what this smells like. It smells so good. Definitely cinnamon and baking spices from the cooked agave. The vanilla and cherry notes and butterscotch and caramel are all opening up very nicely. This is going to be phenomenal. I mean, you guys are going to love this. Seriously. This is really good. This is one of the best bottles of Gran Reserva I have ever tasted. And I've had a lot of them. We're lucky to get this barrel. This is really good. We're going to sell out of this stuff fast. I know it. It's for $55, $60 or whatever this is going for. We're going to sell out of it fast. people are going to stock up. They're going to buy like a case of this at a time. It is so good. It is. I gave it. It's been. I've been on what for about an hour and a half, just letting it sit and open up. It's so good. You can always tell when I really like something because I just start giggling like a little schoolgirl. I mean, seriously, it's. Oh my God, that is so good. Ugh. Oh. I want it. I want it now. Can we send it tomorrow? I want everybody to have some of this now. Oh. Oh, Travis, you're going to love this. You're going to love this. What are you doing Sunday? You want to come over on Sunday? You want to come over and hang out? I'll give you some of this. We can watch football. Are you a Dallas Cowboys fan? You're going to have to be. Because if you're not a Dallas Cowboys fan, you're not going to be permitted on my property. But Cowboys game starts at 10. Travis lives close to me, so that's why I can say that to him. Otherwise, I'll be like, there's 180 people outside your house. Journey, what's going on? And we go, holy fuck, what's going on? But to coin an old friend of mine.
Oh yeah, baby, this stuff is so good. It makes me want to sing. All right, let's try barrel number 2, because right now, barrel number 1 is, oh yeah, baby. I'm just like, oh, going for a drive in my Corvette with the roof down, just sitting there with my bae. We're just cruising down the coast, and the night stars are singing to me while I'm sipping on some beautiful French oak tequila, baby. And then we're just listening to some cool jazz, smoking a nice Cohiba or Monte Cristo cigar, and enjoying ourselves. And then, you know, we go to some nice hotel where we have a nice meal and sit out back, and we look into each other's eyes as we sip some beautiful Grand Reserva Extra Añejo from French Oak, baby, and then we just start to sing. I go, ooh, I love you, please be in my mouth, I love you, oh yeah, baby. You know how it goes, that's how it goes, man, you know?
Man, it is. It's good. It's really good. All right, so this is barrel number 2, which is the lighter barrel. Now that I had a chance to open up. Now with French oak, whenever you guys do anything with French oak, right? Give it some time, because French oak will always open up and deliver a different experience to you if you give it some chance. You give it a chance to open up. Don't drink it all right away, and don't make your assumptions on your flavor profile. Be patient, because patience, you get rewarded for patience with French oak. I need it. So this is barrel number 2. This one's a little more subtle than the first one. At least it was in the initial tasting, but let's see how it is on the second one.
Oh yeah, baby. It's like sisters, man. You got one who's a little more hardcore and wants to sink her tongue in your mouth when you're kissing her and stuff, and the other one who's like, oh, I'm like my sister, but I'm not as dirty as her, man. I just want to sit and we can have a good conversation, have a good meal, and then we just sit and talk a little bit while under the stars. And that's what this one's like, man. It's beautiful. It makes me want to sing too, but more like soft rock ballads, where the other one wants me to sing like cool jazz and enjoy a good stogie with it. This one's more like, you know, soft rock ballads, like a little bit of Toto in Africa, or I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner, something like that, while you're enjoying a really nice flavor profile. I'm going to buy like all of this. You guys can't have any of it. Forget you guys. I'm buying it all. I'm rich and I'm just going to do that. So you guys are out of luck.
This is really good. Really good. Now that I gave it some time to open up, it's gotten so much better. It's great. Yeah. You guys are going to love these barrels. They're like so good. I'm so excited. I'm just going to tell here. Hold on. Wait. I have to do it now. I have to tell them. Umberto. Oops, sorry. So I'm talking to the CCO of Casa San Matias right now on my phone. So just so you guys know what the conversation's like, I said both of these Grand Reserva samples are amazing. Bottle them. We want them now. Oops. And then he's like, and he said, haha. And I said, oh my God, so good. He goes, Grand Reserva. I said, I'm in love. And he's like, I know, right? And I said, I need these in my life right now. And so he's now responding. These are so good. Yeah, don't forget the like button, you guys. Don't forget to click on the like button. So right now, for those of you, I'm talking to the CCO of San Matias. Yes, I put you in contact with the Sazerac team on Tuesday. Monday's a holiday. Okay, good. That's fine. We're ready. We are ready for them. And then I'm working on the to own a high proof, to own a still strength. I have ideas on how we can make it better. Can we talk? All right, let's see what he says. So there you go. I'm talking live with Mexico right now, and the executives at Casa San Matias. Now, see, one of the things that really makes me different than some of the other, I don't like to use the word influencers, but but they are influencers. I don't really consider myself an influencer. But the thing that really kind of sets me different is, number one, I'm not afraid to tell you when I don't like something, like I see you saw in the Volans. Because I don't have to appease to anybody. I've got lots of master distillers and brands that appreciate what I do, and I give them honest feedback on how to make things better. And I think sometimes that's better than placating them and appeasing them by saying that everything that they send me is good and great and I love it, when that's not necessarily the case. When I love something, I go crazy about it. Just like you guys saw with this. I love this. I went crazy about it. The Carrera 54. People accuse me of all kinds of things with the Carrera 54. But seriously, anybody that's tried it comes back and says, okay, I see what you're doing. I see why you're doing that. When I get really excited about something, it's because I love it. I think it's amazing in the flavor profile. But when I don't like something, I'm not afraid to tell them, because if you give them information all the time that, hey, this stuff is amazing, this is what we want all the time, they're going to keep producing it even if you don't particularly really care for it that much. So it doesn't do anybody any good to have these guys that do these reviews that everything that they try they like. I'm honest with them. When I sit down with them, I'll sit down across from Felipe. You know, Felipe's like a brother to me. I've known Felipe for years. I can sit down across from Felipe and I can have an honest and true conversation with him. He won't get offended because he knows I love him. I love his family, Alan and Luis. I love what he does. But there's sometimes where he does things and makes things that aren't so good. And he knows I'm not afraid to tell him, hey, look, this one didn't turn out so great. Can we do something to make it a little better next time? And these guys appreciate the fact that I'm honest with them and give them honest feedback and are willing to work with them for free. I don't charge them to help do something that's better, that really triggers a better response from people and get a different reaction and different experience for the consumers. So one of the things that I do that's different is, you're not going to see me say, yeah, everything that somebody makes is great. He's not picking up the last thing. I think he's too busy trying to get the Grand Reserva done for us. All right. But I've got like a lot of master distillers and stuff that are on my phone that I contact and talk to all the time. And they appreciate what I do. They know what, they know that I care a lot about their product and that I'm just trying to help them in producing something that I think more people would enjoy. And so, and when we sit down and talk, I mean, when I can sit down and talk shop with them, and it's not just about, well, what do you do? It's really smooth, or is it going to be not smooth? Or it's like more like this here. We got to use these voices.
Yeah, I just like drinking your tequila and getting drunk, and then, it's like everything is smooth and it's good, and I'm just here for the free tour and the drinks, right?
Where me, it's like, hey, yeah, this isn't good. I don't like this, and it needs to be changed, and things. They appreciate that more. They do. They really do. And there's some brands that they get upset because I'm a little more honest than they wanted when they sent me samples. But there's a reason why there's some brands that won't send me samples, because they know that if I don't like it, I'll tell everybody that I don't like it, and then I'll give them suggestions on things they can do to fix it, because I've studied. I know what's happening. I've studied fermentation. I studied distillation. I'm a student of this stuff. And I'll sit, like, from Sergio Cruz, like, for example, I love Sergio Cruz. He is one of my most favorite people in the world to sit with. And one of the reasons why I like Sergio Cruz out of 1414 so much is the guy is a chemistry professor at a local university. He gets it. He knows what's going on. He knows all the chemical compounds and things that are going on within the fermentation area. And so we'll sit and totally geek out on fermentation. And he's the kind of guy, too, that, he has the voice on his shoulder going,
go ahead, try it. Make it extra cold. See what that yeast does. See what kind of see what kind of flavors it produce. Push the limits. Do it. Yes, do it now. And he gets, oops.
And he feeds off that stuff. And that's what I love about Sergio Cruz. I sat with him one time in his office looking at a whiteboard up on his office wall at the Vivanco and Associates distillery, and we sat in his office looking, and we drew a distillation curve, right? This is where heads comes in, and normally I pull heads off at this temperature, and then we get the hearts, the corazon from this area to this area, and then we normally get tails in this area here. He knows his fermentation and he knows his distillation very well. But I said to him, hey, what if we push this? What if we push this to here and do this? And he's like, yes, that sounds like a good. And so we sat for literally like 2 hours in his office discussing stuff like this. Sergio Vivanco went off because he's like, you guys are geeking out. Right? You just do what you do. And we were talking about ideas on things to do. And Sergio was like, yes, okay, good idea. I'm going to look into that and blah, blah, blah. And, we shared ideas and information and we learned from each other, and it was amazing. And that's one of the things that, too, a lot of these master distillers and stuff really appreciate about me is when I show up to their distillery, I'm not there to get drunk. I'm not there to try to get drink-free tequila and get trashed, pass out. I'm there to talk and to learn and to share ideas and to share my love for the spirit with them, and they love the spirit as well. So, and we'll sit around the tables there, and if you've ever been to Vivanco and Associates, they get this really good fresh goat cheese, and we'll sit around and sip the tequila, eat goat cheese, and we'll talk about ideas and things that we can do. Now, with that being said, another thing that kind of makes me different is they love sharing things with me. They say, try this, and I get a bunch of different stuff shared with me. And on one visit, you guys know I've been talking about this Viva Mexico Blanco, right? So I went to the distillery one time, and if you don't believe me, if you think I'm lying or whatever, you can ask John Paul Fortunati about it. He was there with me on this particular time with another guy from Cascanes. I took them on a tour of Mexico to visit a bunch of different distilleries. And meet different master distillers, and they met a bunch of them with me. But we were sitting there, and they pulled out this plastic jug of Blanco that Sergio experimented with. And Sergio was like, hey, I want you to try this and tell me what you think. So we tried it, and I was like, oh my God, it blew me away. I was like, this is so good. And I go, we need to share this with the people. And he's like, no, we're going to keep it private, amongst, us here. We're going to drink it, and we'll share it with friends and stuff. I go, no. We need to share this with the people. The people need to try this. The regular Joes out there in America that love good Blancos need to drink this. I spent 45 minutes talking to them before I finally convinced them to allow me to buy the whole batch. So we're buying the whole batch for Ferment and Still. It is an amazing Blanco. It was an experiment from Sergio Cruz, an experiment that he did that turned out amazing. And more people need to try it. So I said, we want to buy the whole batch. And originally they were like, no, we're not going to sell it. It's going to be just for... I'm like, no. I'm not accepting no for an answer here. We want to buy the whole batch. And he went, no. I went, Sergio, look at this face. Does this look like a face that's joking? I want to buy the whole batch. And so then Sergio Cruz and Sergio Vivanco start talking in Spanish. And I'm like, I understand Spanish a lot. I can understand what you're saying. And they're like, and then finally they said, okay. And so now we bought the whole batch. We're buying the whole batch. And we're getting this special batch coming in. And that's the kind of stuff that I do. That's the kind of work that I get involved with. And so now when they bottled it for me last time, it's been sitting in a tank for 2 years. I've been working on this for 2 years with them, and it's been sitting in a tank for 2 years. And the longer it sits, the better it's getting. The last time I tried it, it blew me away. And so, Travis, if you come over this weekend and hang out on Super Bowls on Sunday, and not Super Bowl Sunday, but on Sunday, watching the Cowboys game, you'll be able to try it. I'll share a little bit of this with you, and then you can let people know what's going on. So there's always that option, Travis. Travis, if you want to come over, seriously, you're a good dude. You've involved in my blind Blancos. I'm going to let you into the tequila den. So message me on Instagram and I'll give you my address. And dude, come over this weekend. Come over on Sunday. And you guys can try some of this stuff and we can just hang out. I have some cigars. You want to smoke a good cigar with me? You're more than welcome to do that as well. But you can come and experience the world of the Tequila Hombre here and watch Cowboys football with me as they play the Carolina Panthers. I believe we're playing on Sunday, which should be a good game. So it should be good. Mark, if you could continue, if you can coordinate a distillery tour for everyone, that would be the shit. Yeah, I've been working on doing it. The only thing that I want to do with doing a tour is I don't want to be responsible for all the logistics. I'm not good at handling all that stuff. So if I can find somebody that can handle the logistics and stuff for me, I will definitely put it together and coordinate it with the distilleries because, for example, when I took Coscanas with me to see probably 10 different distilleries and introduced them to the master distillers and stuff at the places, and they got VIP treatment with me because whenever I go show up at a distillery, I always get VIP treatment because the master distillers in Mexico love what I do. They love what I do. They love that I'm honest. They love that I get feedback, and they love that I'm helping them, and I don't charge them anything for it. So we have a lot of fun. We talk business. I don't go to get drunk. And, you know, for that reason, I have people like Carlos Camarena, Felipe Camarena that really cherish our relationships. And anytime that I'm coming into town, they always make time to hang out with me and stuff and talk to me, and we talk about what they're doing. Same with Fanny, his daughter. Mauricio Camarena, he's a brother to me now. And Eduardo Camarena, which is Lalo Camarena, which is Carrera. He's like a crazy nephew. The Camarena family is like a really close group of people for me. They're like a second family. Casa San Matias in Mexico as well. Humberto, who I was just messaging, and Carmen Villarreal, they're like a Mexican family to me. I show up to the Casa San Matias distillery, and Rocio wants to come and hang out with me, and she loves my palate and how good I am at picking out flavor notes, and we compare notes and stuff a lot and have a lot of fun hanging out. And when I was down in Guadalajara for this tasting, she actually drove down from the Highlands from 2 hours because she wanted to be there present with me as we did the tasting for these barrels. And Rocio and I go back a long way. I've purchased many barrels from them for the collective. Everyone's loved them, and she loves that I'm so passionate about what they do, and I'm passionate about what she does, because no matter what happens with Casa San Matias and Rocio, there's always cooked agave notes in the front. They never over oak it to the point where you don't taste cooked agave. That's one of the reasons why I like the blended añejo that the Casa San Matias did, and she was so thrilled that I loved that so much. But she's a good friend of mine, and I love her, and she does great work, and I respect her for her abilities and what she brings for the brand. She is an amazing woman, and I'm so glad that they made her master distiller as well as the master blender and stuff for Casa San Matias. And then there's other distilleries too out there that I'm really well connected with, and I know people really well. They just, every time I show up in Mexico, they want me to come visit them, and I love that. Like El Mexicano, I've got a great relationship with the Benuelas family. I know Tessie, Don Leon's wife. I know Guillermo. I know Willie. I know Max and Don and Leon Jr. I mean, I know like these whole families, and I know all their people and stuff. And it's because I care about what they do. I'm passionate about it. I want to share the words with everybody, the news with everybody, and I want to make sure that people get the best possible experience that they can. And I'm willing to help them do it without charging them or without making them pay me to say good things about them. So that's kind of the way things roll here with the Ombre. I'm probably one of the most straightforward, honest guys that you'll ever come across. My wife says I need to install a filter. I say what's on my mind. If I think something's complete and total, I will tell you it's complete and order. I don't hide things and go, yeah, it's good, I like it. If I think it's, the way things are. That's the way the Ombre works. So I'm really excited. The San Mateus Gran Reserva is amazing. It's so good. And I think the collective members are going to love it. If you're not a member of the collective and you want to get in on the buy on this, the link is in the description. It's $10 a month. It's not that much. And it helps support what I do and pay for my travel back and forth to Mexico to go coordinate these things. And then you get so much benefits in return for being a member. We have 120 members, 130 members now. And we'd love to have you as a member if you're somebody that's passionate about tequila and getting in on some really good offerings. Come join us. And if you're somebody too that's chasing the heavily allocated bottles, like we did the Fortaleza winter blend today, and the members got it for $100 less than what we were selling it for to the general public, and we sold out. It's gone. It's sold out. So that's the kind of stuff we do. I'm really appreciative of those guys that support me, the members that support me. And I always work hard to make sure that we get the best stuff for you guys. And that's the best I can do. I mean, and I think that this offering, the Gran Reserva, is gonna blow you guys away. Seriously. And Travis, you'll be able to try it this weekend, so you can be my confirmation that I'm not just spewing bullshit. But you might want to bring your wife with you or somebody, because you're probably going to need somebody to drive you home afterwards. I don't need to drive home. I'm here. This is my house. This is my casa. So, any other questions you guys have while we're sitting here enjoying this time together, working here in my office, doing some work with the Ombre? I'm all about, giving you guys full disclosure. I'm about it. I think as transparent as one could be. So if there's any other questions you guys have, I'm more than happy to answer your questions for you and put everything out in the open. I mean, let's do it. So far, everyone's been pretty quiet, which probably means it's good because they're learning. Because learning is good. So, yeah, this barrel number 2 is just, it's really good. It's really good. This is the bomb. This is the, as Snoop Dogg would say, this is the shizzle, my bizzle. It's really good. All right, so any other questions? Anything else? Should we start talking about other things now that I've got my work done? I'm kind of available now to talk. Somebody asked me about Chamucos, I think, earlier, right? What is it? I try to answer all your questions if I can. What was the question? Ombre, doing a barrel pick today for Gran Reserva. Coordinate distillery tour. Oh, let's go back. Oh wait, somebody just commented. Let's see what we got. That meetup sounds awesome. I'm in. Okay, Ivan's in. Cool. Travis is ready for a meetup. That was an hour ago. Let me see. Oh, here's a good question from Joshua. I don't know if Joshua's still here or not, but he says this is probably a stupid question, but how do you individually taste agave if you really want to know what the taste is like before sipping a tequila? What would you recommend? Well, I would recommend if you have a Mexican market by you, see if they sell any cooked agave. And a lot of times it would be listed as like mezcal. It's listed as mezcal because mezcal is basically cooked agave. But in the Mexican market, you can find it in the produce section. It says mezcal. Or if you go to the distilleries in Mexico, you can actually try cooked agave straight out of the oven. So a lot of times, but you want to make sure when you coordinate your tour, you ask them, will you be producing this day? And if so, were you just cooking? So you could try cooked agave. And what happens is when you go to a lot of distilleries, like for example, if I was going to Casa San Matias, I may say to Umberto or somebody I know there, hey, are you producing that day? They go, yeah, we're producing. I go, okay, what are you at? Were you cooking, or is it just now finished cooking going into extraction stuff? They're like, yeah, we cooked a couple days ago, so it's just cooled. So we're just now running the roller mills and stuff. And that's the perfect time to go and try it. And they'll cut up a bunch of it, and you can try two different parts of the cooked agave. There's the corazon and the pencas, right? The corazon is the heart, and when you try the corazon, it's more of a smooth area of the pina, and then when you try the penca side, it's more fibrous. And so on the fibrous side of the cooked agave, when you try it, you want to basically, it's like if you've ever eaten sugar cane, it's kind of like the same thing as sugar cane, where you just want to bite into it and pull your teeth along it and pull the sugars and stuff out of it. You don't want to eat the fibrous penca area. But if the corazon, it's all flat, it's like really smooth, and that you can just pop it in your mouth and eat it, and it won't cause you any problems. But if you eat the penca side, where the fibers and stuff are, it will cause some gastric issues with you. It could cause like severe diarrhea. So you normally don't want to swallow the fibers to avoid that. So it's completely different. Love the content. Well, that's what I'm supposed to be. I'm all about education and educating you guys on what's going on. So I'm glad you find it educational, Ivan. And I hopefully all of you guys find this stuff educational, because a lot of nobody else goes into stuff like this. And that's one of the things that I really pride myself on, is being more about giving you guys the real information, and not just it's smooth, man. It's really smooth. Yeah, let's put another shot. It's smooth. Because that tells you nothing. It tells you nothing.
Yeah, brother, it's smooth. Like smooth jazz on a Saturday night. Cruising along the coast, top of your convertible down, and you're listening to the sweet sounds of Louis Armstrong. Right here at Cool Jazz 104 FM.
All right. I think that's it. I think I'm good for the day. What do you guys think? Any other questions before I call it quits? It's almost 2 o'clock. I started at noon, so almost 2 hours. I think we've done a lot, and so I will keep you guys posted on the Grand Reserva. For those of you that in the collective, look for the announcements on stuff when it's being bottled. I will let you know and keep you updated on it. If you're not in the collective, think about joining. Seriously, it's $10 a month. It's a good group of people. We share a lot of information with each other. They're not afraid to rip on me every once in a while, which is fine. I mean, I'm okay with that. But we get some really good tequilas to them, especially the allocated stuff. And they normally get better pricing than the public does, and get stuff that the public normally can't get. So think about joining us. And I share a lot more stuff on the Discord with information that I post from it. And that's it. So sum up today, the Daona Still Strength Blanco, I think needs more work. I'll work with them on that. And maybe I think we'll produce a pretty good Still Strength Blanco for that. The Grand Reservas, the 2 barrels, excellent, amazing, absolutely amazing stuff. So I look forward to getting those in so you guys can try them. Travis Conboy will have a way of trying that this Sunday if he wants to come over and hang out and drink tequila with me. So you guys can be jealous of him, all right? And until next time, like I always say, keep following here on the channel. Don't be afraid to follow the Ombre. Don't forget to ask questions. Don't forget to challenge the way things are. Challenge what people tell you. Be strong. Enjoy a good agave spirit. And remember, too, not to take this shit too seriously. Seriously. It's a freaking liquor. If a rubber chicken comes in and does a review, enjoy it. Enjoy it for what it is, all right? It's fun. People take things too seriously with this stuff and get too crazy, and it's not really meant to be that way. It's meant to be fun, loving, caring, enjoyable, delicious. It's not meant to be serious and bitter and angry. So don't be that way. Be nice. Okay? Have a great weekend, you guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for your support, for supporting the channel. And like I always say, life is too short to drink bad tequila. So keep trying some of the stuff I recommend. Try the Grand Reservas when they come out. Join the collective and get some bottles, and you'll be in great shape. Bye, guys.